Last week, a South Korean woman jumped in my inbox and started talking to me about things that were happening in South Korea and things that she wanted me to report on. She says, "Hi, I'm from South Korea, and I want to let you know there's this recent article about marriage matching companies in Korea. I want to correct this. Korean pick-me TikTokers claiming most Korean women want Korean men to date and marry us." The Korean woman she's talking about is this woman, and you've probably seen this video going around. She's talking about how she is 29 and other women in her cohort are actually looking for marriage-minded men. But let's get back to her inboxes. She says, and this is the article link, and it says the biggest marriage matching companies met Ministry of Health and Welfare to discuss the low birth rate in South Korea. And the corporate representative said most companies' biggest dilemma is how to narrow down the gap between Korean men and women. It's true that women's joining rate to the marriage matching company program is outstandingly low. So government should come up with unprecedented solutions to make Korean women to think there will be something good in their life by marrying and giving birth. She gave me a screenshot. Now, this is naver.com. This is the website she sent. Obviously, I can't read Korean. So this is the part of the article that she sent to me specifically. The cool thing about Google Translate is that it took this and it told me what it was talking about. Okay, so here is the translation. At the meeting, policy suggestions for marriage support measures were made. The CEO of a marriage information company said, the concerns of most marriage information companies are focused on how to resolve the gap between men and women in terms of willingness to marry, adding the reality is that women's subscription is dropping significantly, and women are. He suggested that government come up with very unconventional measures to make people aware that marriage and childbirth have definite benefits in their lives. He said, we need a long-term solution from the government that can encourage multicultural marriage. So not only, get South Korean women to marry, but figure out where they can import some women. That's what I'm gathering. She continues with, companies went down bad as the economy went bad and perception of marriage changed. They have existed for about 30 years, and the numbers of enlisted matching companies went down after 2010. So despite what this woman says, which her whole video sounded like propaganda, the marriage rates are dropping, the birth rate is in hell, and they need to fluff it up. But I don't know how they're going to do that, especially considering how misogynistic and sexist South Korea is.
Korean women have no idea what the 4B movement is, and we need to stop this misinformation.
Okay, so thank you to my friend Annie for making that video, because I am a Korean woman currently living in Korea and I have so much to say about this topic. So most of the 4B movement videos that I've seen on TikTok are made from foreigners, and I think Korean Americans or just Asian people living in the West, but not actually people living in Korea. So like I said, I live in Seoul. What I think is happening is the Western media likes to really pick up on these sensationalist, provocative topics and then makes it into an article, and then everyone on TikTok follows suit and makes videos about it. But let me tell you, I am 29, going to turn 30 this year, and literally all the conversations that I have with my friends around my age is about, oh my god, we're looking to get married, we need to find good partners, and we need to do this before it gets too late or we're just aged out of their marriage market, And I just made a YouTube video about this, Korea's population crisis, why nobody's getting married or having babies. But I also explained there are services in Korea like marriage matchmaking services where people go and you pay a broker and you submit all this information about yourself, your income, your assets, your family background, if you have any debt, which university you went to, you submit all that information, and then they take that and then they will try to match you up with people who they think that you're on par with. So you know how you see in K-dramas how the poor girl ends up marrying the richest CEO of Korea? Yeah, in reality that never happens. So people go to these marriage services and they're heavily used. There are literally so many in the country because everyone is using them. And so the 4B movement in Korea is a very, very small fraction of the whole Korean population in general. It's just the Western media likes to highlight that part and make it seem like it's the biggest issue in Korea, which it really is not. I can promise you that. Don't believe all those sensational articles written online all the time. Most people in Korea still like the other sex. We want to date, we want to find love, we want to get married. Those are like the big majority. And it's only the small group of extreme radical misandrists and extreme radical misogynists. They just seem like the loudest because the most attention goes to them. But yeah, I literally just dropped a YouTube video explaining about this whole thing, so go watch it, Annalie on YouTube.
Now I'm going to segue into some things that I saw over on Twitter. This man, Raphael Shadid, says, over the past few months, editors around the world have been asking me to write about Korea's 4B movement and low birth rate. I honestly had never heard of it before, but these news desks on the other side of the world keep telling me it's a thing. Their source, TikTok. And he says some of the things that the robotic South Korean woman says. Honestly tired of those YouTubers and TikTokers who sensationalize or mischaracterize issues in Korea and then go viral. Okay, so that's Raphael Rashid. His name doesn't remotely sound Korean, and he's a man. So a South Korean woman tagged me in this woman's post. She took Raphael Rashid's post and started talking about it. She says, I am a Korean feminist. Please don't ask Korean men about feminism. In South Korea, women who support feminism are targets of cyberbullying. We face daily layoffs and digital SA. In severe cases, assault or even unaliving. So South Korean women hide their beliefs to survive. She says, this is why men and pick-me girls say there are fewer 4Bs in Korea. Many women who practice 4B have to hide their beliefs from anti-feminists in order to avoid being unalived. In Korea, it is impossible to have positive conversations about feminism offline. Please don't ask Korean men about Korean feminism. All Korean men are extremely anti-feminist. Korea is a femicide country. In Korea, if a woman has short hair, she may be assaulted and not hired. If you're curious about Korean feminism, ask a Korean woman in a question on Twitter. South Korea is a country where feminist is used as an insult. If you want to know if what I'm saying is true, look for Korean videos on YouTube. It's easy to find Korean posts criticizing women for being feminist in the comment section. She says, this is evidence to prove my word. The man assaulted her because he thought she was a feminist because she had short hair. I do remember this. It's in the BBC. You can look up this article. South Korean man attacks shop clerk. Matter of fact, I just pull up the article title for you. South Korean man attacked shop clerk he thought was a feminist, all because she had short hair. This man was arrested. I don't know the outcome. This happened last year back in November. She also said you can look up this extreme anti-feminist organization called New Men Solidarity, and they have over 500,000 followers. And she said, and the president of South Korea supported that group. The president of Korea is a man who was elected by using anti-feminism politically. Proof here. So you can find this article. I saw this article last year as well, how South Korea's next president capitalized on anti-feminist backlash. She continues with her string of tweets. South Korea was a poor country until recently, so women's human rights are very low. Koreans in their 20s are part of the femicide generation, also known as female child smomortion. Romantic Korean dramas aren't real. They're painkillers that women watch to numb their pain. There are many feminists in South Korea, but we hide to survive. I used a translator. I hope my sincerity comes through to those of you who speak other languages. Thank you to all the women who listen to me. This person has more tweets. She says, I am one of the people who contributed to creating 4B. It was created by radical feminists. There are two branches of feminism in Korea. Radical feminism led by young women and traditional liberal feminism. We are divided by the misogyny of the Progressive Party. Young feminists want identity politics, but liberal feminists hate that. She continues, and here she's talking to someone. She says, maybe your friends are liberal feminists, feminists who support progressive political parties, hate everything radical feminism invents. Korean feminists have severe factional conflicts. Nevertheless, 4B is practiced by at least 200,000 people. Please note, South Korea's radical feminism is not conservative. We support identity politics. If you want to know the cause of this, look into Me Too in Korean politics. We left them because of the sexual crimes of the Progressive Party. So there's that. This is what this woman is saying on Twitter. I have heard this before with a woman who came into my YouTube space to talk about 4B in Korea. She also said that 4B in the movement is not new. She said that they gathered information from radical feminists from the West. She said that they know that they did not invent this. They are just practicing what women before them have already practiced. And I'm glad that when Canty came over to my page, she was giving props to Black feminists and radical feminists of the past. She said that she was reading books from feminists from the West. Anyways, let me know what you think about this. Jump in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.